Hi everyone, I am Dr. Christine Anderson. I am a chiropractor who has been practicing in Los Angeles, California for over 30 years. And I have been doing a series on detoxification and how you can support your body with detoxifying, and including letting you know where you find toxins so that you can keep them out of your life. So, this is a constant process going on in our bodies. And you're going to see with essential oils that there are certain systems that we need for detoxification that these can support, such as our liver, our lungs, our skin, our kidneys, and the bowel system. So these are the ways we get rid of toxins. And what these essential oils, these amazing plant concentrates can do is help our bodies just like they do help the plant's systems, and that's what they do. So I'm not going to go deep into what essential oils are. Instead, I will put a link to a video I did on essential oils 101, so you can learn exactly what essential oils are, how you can find out what good ones are, because the type of essential oil truly does matter. All essential oils are not created equally. I found this out the hard way. So you are benefiting from my experience. And so there's some ways you can tell. I use one type only exclusively. There's no secret to that. So I'll let you know what that is. And the important thing to know that this is part of a lifestyle. You don't just like detox once and then forget it. I like to do these things ongoing, so I'm not really doing any major detox cleansing because that's what my whole life is. So I'm using these essential oils as one tool to help support my detoxification systems. So the other thing with essential oils is that they have an array of therapeutic properties depending on the type of chemical constituents that are in there. So although I'm mentioning them in the realm of detoxing support, they also can be used for other things. So for instance, we're going to talk about rosemary. So there's a little heads up there. Which I love to diffuse for helping with my brain focus, and it's great for remembering things, and these have been studied. So I really am just presenting to you the oils in the realm of detoxification. So again, I'm not trying to diagnose for you. We're not using these for medical treatments. We are using them for support for our bodies' natural systems. So keep that in mind as I talk about them. So let's dive in because I've got 13. I couldn't narrow it down. Now, lemon essential oil I put as number one. I don't necessarily have these in order of like lemon is the best, right? So all these oils will have different things that they work on. But I think lemon is probably the best known. Typically, if you're doing some sort of cleanse or having you drink lemon water, lemon essential oil is a bit different because it is pressed from the rind of the lemon. It's not actually the juice. And the juice can be somewhat acidic for the mouth. And if you are constantly drinking something with lemon or acid in it, it can actually have an effect on the enamel of your teeth. Now, essential oils don't do that. So if you are using lemon essential oil in your water, then that's, to me, going to be a bit safer than using juice all the time. Now, for those of you who stick around until the end, I am going to be explaining how you would use these oils for detoxification. So I'm not going to go into much detail, but here you can see that lemon essential oil is great for the liver support. It's great for getting those toxins out through the blood. I have there hesperidin, which is a chemical constituent of lemon essential oil, helps prevent LPS-induced toxicity. That's a lipopolysaccharide. Oh, I hope I said that right. toxicity. And this is one of the things that can create things like leaky gut. So it's a type of, how do I want to put it? Like a microbe. So instead of your good probiotics, it's one that creates damage. So it's kind of like, think of it like a bad guy. And this is all based on studies. I'm going to link those studies in the description. So if you want to take a closer look at them, you can. Another part of essential oil in the citrus family, you're going to see this as a matter of course, is D-limonene. And that's great for supporting our lymphatic drainage. Did I forget to include the lymph when I was talking in the beginning? This is a huge part of our detoxification system because it's kind of like throwing the trash out, right? So it's kind of like the trash receptacle, and then that has to be emptied. So we want to support this lymphatic drainage. You know, if you get a cold or something and you get little lumpy and bumpy in your neck, that's your lymph system getting backed up. You probably also need a chiropractic adjustment, but you know, that's just a chiropractor talking. And here studies show that they actually induced damage in the liver and kidney in mice, I believe. And when they then subjected to mice to lemon essential oil before they tried to toxify them, it was actually protective. So this is something that's great even in a protective realm to stop damage from occurring, and had a great antioxidant effect, especially in the liver and brain. And we're going to talk more about that in a bit. But let's move on to number 2. Grapefruit essential oil. Again, here we are in the citrus family, so go figure. I didn't put orange on this list, but orange is another one, all because it's in this realm of citrus oils having D-limonene, and grapefruit essential oil has a very high level, 88 to 95%, protective of the cells and DNA. That's with that antioxidant effect. And there's other antioxidant constituents besides the D-limonene. Again, it's going to help support the lymphatic system and blood circulation. So remember, we need to get blood to our organs that are going to detoxify, like the liver and the gallbladder, kidneys, the bladder, and also the skin. Don't forget about the skin, one of our major detoxifiers. One caveat, if you are applying any citrus essential oils to your skin, you want to do it in a nighttime, or you want to put it underneath your clothing. You don't want to put these on topically and then go out in the sun because you can burn. It has a photo effect on the skin. So just be careful with that. One caveat there. Grapefruit's also great for supporting the digestive system, especially the eliminatory system, right? So where we're removing things through our bowels. And it also helps to decrease the production of excess mucus, which can sometimes build up as we are detoxifying. We are to number 3, juniper berry essential oil. This is a great one for supporting detoxification through the kidneys, urinary tract, the skin, and it's going to help eliminate toxins from fatty tissues. Now, most people don't realize that we actually store toxins in our fat. And sometimes this can actually be one of the reasons why you're having problems getting weight off. That fat is enclosing the toxins in your body and keeping them from floating around the body, so that fat becomes protective. And once you start to eliminate toxins, sometimes that fat will go with it because there's no real need for it to be there anymore. It's also going to help expel uric acid if you have a problem with that. Uric acid tends to deposit in the joints of the toes especially, sometimes the fingers, but usually the toes. And it might have an expression of the disease, medical disease we call gout, if you're used to hearing that. And you just might want to have a look at that. And this might be something that can help with the removal of the uric acid toxins so they don't deposit in your joints, right? It is approved as a food additive by the FDA, so keep that in mind when we start talking about ways to use essential oils. And remember, with toxicity, you can also have toxicity of emotions. So juniper berry essential oil can really be helpful to release anything that's toxic as far as emotions go, like anger, insecurities, fear, those types of things. So remember, we can use things this way too, and that includes the citrus oils, which can be used as an uplifting oil to help with your emotional state as well. All right, lemongrass essential oil. So this one I found out about a number of years ago. So we used to fly back and forth to New Zealand a couple of times a year to see our son who lives there. My husband is from New Zealand, and the thing with going to New Zealand is that they always spray the planes with pesticides. They are so paranoid, to the point of being paranoid, really very protective of what comes into their country. And I understand they're a small country, and any type of pathogen or thing that's not supposed to be there can disrupt their environmental ecology. So when we go, I mean, they're scrutinizing our suitcase. What kind of food did you bring in? Anything that can harbor something that's going to grow, whether it be plant or animal, they are really concerned about. So they spray the planes. So I knew this, and I was looking up what can I do proactively, trying to minimize our exposure to the toxins they're spraying. When you go back and listen to my stories about detoxification, I relay a little bit about an experience I had with a prodromal liver issue, creating a lot of big problems for me. So I'm so protective of my liver, and I really like to keep it healthy. So it contains citral, that's a compound in there that helps with inducing some of the detoxification enzymes. Again, I'm not going to go into detail there, just know it's part, there's a couple of different steps with detoxification, especially in the liver. So it's going to help support this flushing of toxins from the body by actually supporting those organs like the liver, kidneys, digestive tract, and the bladder. So great essential oil. Number 5 is oregano. Now, this one is so great. We know that it helps support the body in naturally eliminating microbial pathogens. For instance, bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. They're everywhere. We live in a very buggy world. I don't get so paranoid about it. But if you're wanting to support your system, or let's just say you're having an issue with something like parasites or candida, or some type of an issue that you're working to support your body, this may be something to consider, because those pathogens themselves are toxic, and especially because they produce toxins themselves. So there was a study, and that verified this antimicrobial activity, so I'm not saying anything that hasn't been studied. And they also found that oregano essential oil can have some general positive effects on human health. And part of it is due to the antioxidant properties that can help prevent chronic diseases and neurodegenerative disorders. Neuro meaning brain or the nervous system, and things that would degenerate. For instance, one example of a neurodegenerative disorder might be something like Alzheimer's. So this is just an example of how essential oil can be supportive in keeping our system cleansed of toxins. Peppermint essential oil. Now, this is one of my favorites overall. I never go out without it, but besides doing a multitude of other things, it does help support digestion. Remember, with digestion, you're going to be taking in toxins, but also you're taking in nutrients, hopefully. Sometimes you're taking in toxins with that food. Remember, especially if it's not organic or has genetically modified organisms, there's going to be some things that come in with your food and water if you are not being careful. And I go into some of those things in the common sources of toxins. So it's part of digestion is also elimination, so that's in there. And then a study in 2018 talked about how peppermint essential oil can be protective of the liver and the kidney, which again are part of our detoxification system. Number 7, cypress essential oil. And this supports many body systems, including respiratory, lymphatic, and circulatory. So we talked some about these things with the circulatory system, moving toxins through to the eliminatory systems like the bladder and the colon, that type of thing. And then supporting lymph and venous decongesting. So sometimes the trash can build up and kind of block the pathway. So cypress oil helps kind of keep things flowing through to get those toxins out. It's going to also help support the stimulation and regulation of liver secretions, which we know is one of our major detoxifying organs. Rosemary essential oil. So I told you this was coming. You got the little preview. Rosemary, besides smelling amazing, is also great for increasing circulation, supporting detoxification of your lung pathways. So remember, every time you exhale, with your carbon dioxide, you're also breathing out toxins, junk that you don't want. It is one of our pathways of getting rid of things. So you always want to make sure you're supporting your breath and your natural expiration, and you don't want to be blocking that with anything. It aids in supporting lymphatic drainage. We already know how important that is. It has a protective effect on DNA. Well, that's super important since that's sort of the blueprint of what goes on in our cells. And then I will link this study that talks about the protective effect on the liver, especially as a free radical scavenger, which is what happens with the things that we call antioxidants. It comes in, it takes that free electron, it grabs hold of it, and it escorts it safely out of the body. It pairs with it, so basically it inactivates it so it doesn't do any more damage, which then is going to affect these organs that we need to detoxify. All right, fennel essential oil number 9. Supports detoxification in general, supports cleansing of the blood, kidneys, and our other vital organs, supports our diuretic system through the urinary system, and it also is great in supporting the elimination of toxins through the skin, which we call sweating, or also known in the medical world as diaphoresis. Remember, our skin is our largest organ. And one of the things it does, it will accumulate toxins. When you put on body products that have toxins in them, it'll just soak right into the bloodstream. And then when you sweat, it has the chance of releasing these toxins and is a really great way. And I talk about this in some of my favorite ways to detoxify. So I'll put links to all of that in the description. Number 10, myrrh essential oil. Now, historically, myrrh's been used for such a long time, for thousands of years, since probably before biblical times. And it has historically been used to do things like eliminate microbes. Now, we know that they can create toxicity in the body. There's research recently that talks all about the healing properties of myrrh, including the antioxidant effect, helping with oxidative stress, which is the thing that damages and creates inflammation and ages us and ages our detoxification organs. And then in a 2014 study, they showed how myrrh essential oil can be protective of the liver. So a great essential oil to use there. Number 11 is clove essential oil. This is such an amazing oil. It is probably one of the best antioxidants that you can ever have in your arsenal of tools. One little drop contains about 1 million ORAC value. Now, for comparison, blueberries have about 5,000, I believe. So potent. If you can use clove essential oil in your life, this is such a powerful tool and such a little thing. It can help support the natural chelation of metals. And when I say that, chelation, I'm using here the natural chelation. And again, it's holding hands with the toxic metal and escorting out. So it just acts as a guide for your natural detoxification abilities. And going back to the antioxidant effect, it helps to prevent and possibly reverse free radical damage, which is that oxidative stress caused by toxins and natural metabolic processes. So remember, just the act of living, we create toxins, we create free radicals that are thrown off as our mitochondria are making energy and as we're processing food and as we're exercising. That creates a lot of free radicals, you guys. So just be careful about over exercising and, too much of anything. Just the right amount is the best because you create a lot of free radicals with exercising. And of course, if we're using potent antioxidants like clove essential oil, it's going to help support that slowing down of the aging process by reducing the damage that toxins create in the body, like I said, including our detoxification organ system. Number 12, geranium essential oil. It helps support normal kidney function. It helps the liver to discharge toxins. It supports the dilation of the biliary ducts, and those are the ducts that take the bile from the liver to the bile ducts, which help with the emulsification and process we need to break down fats to absorb them into our body. And speaking of, because essential oils are essentially fat soluble, they are so small, they can gain entry into our cells quite easily. And this is why they can have such a potent therapeutic effect versus things like herbs that are they're bigger molecules and they're not as concentrated, and so they can be beneficial. I'm not saying herbs aren't great, but essential oils are more volatile, meaning they can travel through air as a gas, or when they are in that liquid form, they also can gain access into our cells, so they absorb really well right into our bloodstream and get into our body to have a very, very quick effect. Whether you're inhaling straight into the brain, going to have an effect sublingually for some of the oils that are considered vitality oils. I'll talk about that in a minute, which again get absorbed right into the bloodstream. Or like I said, applying topically. So great. Geranium has an added benefit of supporting hormone regulation. And I put that in there because a lot of people don't realize that if our hormones get out of balance, if there's something that there's too much of one, let's say we have too much estrogen in relation for the balance with progesterone and testosterone, that estrogen can really act like a toxin in our body. So we want to keep that regulation and that homeostasis, that balance of hormones in our body. So geranium is one that can help with that. And finally, here we are to number 13, last but not least, because ginger oil is really great at supporting our lymphatic drainage. It's preventing our lymph from becoming stagnant, in other words, moving things through. And it can actually help to break down toxins in the lymph nodes. So if you do have some backed up lymph nodes, you can try putting some ginger oil topically on there and massaging it in. And that's going to lead us into how to use them. So when you're applying essential oils topically, there are some that you can use directly on your skin, and you can do a little patch test and see if that's okay. But there's going to be others that are considered like hot oils, like possibly ginger, the clove, peppermint. And if you put it on your skin directly, it might burn it a little. It might make it red. Now, you might want that therapeutic effect because it is definitely bringing circulation to the area. But if it is too much and irritating and you've applied it directly on, you just put a little bit of carrier oil on there. And carrier oils can really be anything that's edible, like coconut oil, grapeseed, olive oil, almond oil, anything like that. that you can eat, you can certainly apply directly on your skin. Avocado oil, or if it's on your face, you can use something like argan or jojoba or some other face oil that is not going to make you break out. Another great way to apply this topically and help remove toxins are a salt or sugar scrub, because the actual scrubbing action of your skin helps to remove dead skin, increase the circulation, and help get these essential oils into your body. So you can do your salt or sugar scrub and then shower it off or get into the tub. And if you're going to take a bath where you want to infuse essential oils into the bath, you want to put your oils into something like Epsom salts first, so that the oils don't float on the surface of the water and they get incorporated a little bit better. You can do a foot bath, which is really great. You can make a roll-on, which again, you're using a carrier oil and putting it into a dispenser that you can just roll onto your skin. And that's great if you want to do some direct applications. Let's say you want to put an oil right over your liver or right over your kidneys. You can do it that way, or onto your chakras if you want to open up like the solar plexus, or your feet, which have the multiple points on there related to the organ systems, and that's the whole reflexology aspect of it. I won't go into that into detail, but basically we can map out our organ system right on the bottom of our feet. So if you want to put a little oil on there and do a little massage, you can help that way. Into the navel, which is a whole other system that we can talk about, and like I said, on the lymph. You can inhale these oils directly from the bottle. You can put a couple of drops into your hands and rub them together, breathe them in, or use a diffuser. Do not use an oil burner diffuser. In other words, one where you put like a candle or a flame underneath the oils. It heats them up too much. You want something where you're just dropping the oils into water, and it's using the cold steam basically to diffuse it through the air, and very effective that way too. Now, just a note on internal use. So here's the thing. We want good quality oils no matter what, because whether you're putting it on your skin or you're breathing it in, if your oil is filled with synthetic toxins or oils that have not been grown in a way using practices that are truly organic. And by the way, just because it's labeled pure or organic, as I go into my Essential Oils 101 class, doesn't mean that it is, because the labeling laws, it's like the Wild West, and you really don't know what you're getting until you look into the company. So with Young Living essential oils, they have a vitality line, which is labeled for internal use. So you know that you can use these oils internally. They are the same oils that have the companion of the other label for aromatic or topical use. It's not a special oil, nothing special about it that makes it for use internally. It's just that it has been passed through the FDA just in their labeling laws to make sure that people understand that this is something that is safe, or generally regarded as safe, or GRAS, to use internally. Now you can put a drop or two of these into your water, like making lemon water or grapefruit water. Yum, I love it. Or Young Living has a drink called Ningxia, which is super antioxidant. So sometimes I'll add a couple more drops of oils into that. Sometimes I'll use them in my food once I'm done cooking. Caveat, a little goes a long way. So if you're using something like rosemary essential oil, a little dab will do you, or you will have a very rosemary tasting food. You can also put a few drops into a capsule with some edible oil and take it that way if you're taking it internally. If you are interested in getting a comparison, I have a chart that compares some of the top essential oils, what makes them different. Just let me know, contact me, and I will get that out to you. All right, we made it through. Whew. 13 essential oils that help support your detoxification process. If you would like to contact me, you can do so through my website, losangeles-chiropractor.com, about anything and everything related to health. And if you are interested in essential oils and you want some guidance on that, I can certainly help you. Full disclosure, I am a Young Living distributor because they're the best essential oils that I have found. And so why would I send you to another place to get them when I don't know about the oils, right? So that is it. If you would like to, like I said, reach out to me for anything. Next week, I'm going to be talking about homeopathy and detoxification. So these are the things I mentioned last time for the best ways to support your liver. I told you I would be coming back with a little bit more information. So that's what we've got in store for next week. All right, have a great week. Work on supporting your detoxification systems, and I will see you next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Watch me live or catch the replay. Give me a likes up if you found this helpful, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because, everything counts, right? All right. Bye, everybody.